Welcome to Botanical Trails Through the Juniper Forest. I'm your host, Brian Heater. Each week, I'll have a different guest join me to explore a pair of interesting gins. We'll chat a little bit about the gin and the distilleries, throw in a bit of trivia, hopefully laugh a bit, and then we'll go off the beaten path. Although I say that this is a podcast about gin, really this is just an excuse for me to spend time with my friends. But that'll just be our secret. Okay, let's start exploring.
Welcome back to our third episode of Squished Grapes. I'm your co-host, Molly Murray.
And I'm Kelly Metzger.
And we are with a returning guest, Brian Heater. Thank you for being here, Brian.
Thanks for having me back.
Always a pleasure.
Fun fact, you are the only guest that we've ever invited on this. This is our third episode now.
Yes, it helps that I own the equipment.
That is true. Kelly and I tried to do it once on our own. It was like pigeon carrier. It just did not get out like we thought it was going to.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, we are very excited that this is also the second holiday episode, and we do have a jam-packed session for you. So in this episode, we're actually going to be talking about some non-alcoholic options. So if you are hoping to broaden your horizons for some more options or lighten your alcoholic intake over the holidays, there will be some good suggestions there. We're going to talk about holiday shopping, of course, some gift-giving ideas, and do some good old classic holiday movie trivia. It's always a good one for people to play along with as well. And, of course, we'll end with Brian's favorite part of every episode, which is what?
Off the beaten path.
Off the beaten path, right. So, all right, before we get into, some discussion, let's talk about the first drink that we have. So, this is a lemon drip. This is something that I created a few minutes ago in Brian's kitchen. I called it a lemon drip because the lemon drop is the alcoholic version, right? I know.
Also a shot. This is not a shot. This is a cocktail.
Yes, true. So this has a couple different things in it. So there is fresh lemon juice, there's simple syrup, splash of club soda for some bubbles, and I'm actually using a non-alcoholic spirit by Seedlip, and I've recently discovered this over the last couple of months, and there's several different options. The one that I like the best and use, especially for this drink, is called Grove 42. It's got distilled citrus botanicals, so it has a lot of things in it that help make it a bright flavor, and, it says it's sophisticated on the bottle, so that, drew me in because I could use some help with that. But just a lot of different things such as lemons, lemongrass, ginger, and a cool prickle from Japanese Sancho peppercorn. So we'll see. Yeah, have you heard of the
see if we can taste
Sancho
that
peppercorn? Right?
Can we try it now?
Yes, and it is, like I said, non-alcoholic, no sugar, no calories. So cheers.
Cheers.
No sugar, but you switched that.
Oh, I did sugar the rim. I'm not going to lie. That was a pretty good batch of it.
That is delightful.
Thank you. And actually, yes, I also added simple syrup, so there's actually a fair amount of sugar. Just in the alcohol alone, there's not. So, Brian, what do you think? Because you were initially a little skeptical about doing non-alcoholic options on the Alcohol podcast.
Well, yes. For a second, I was like, I'll have to be the voice of opposition. But no, I thought it'd be great to try something different. So, and yeah, that has a really nice flavor to it. Reminds me a little bit of like, kind of like a jazzed up, tasty, like lemonade.
Yeah.
But way better than like a lemonade, if that makes sense.
So it's jazzy lemonade.
It's like, jazzy lemonade.
It's jazz.
It doesn't taste like, it's a little lemonade, but it does.
Yeah,
it tastes like a nice cocktail that you would get out at a bar. You just don't have that like bite of alcohol in it, which some people, the drinks taste better when you can't taste the alcohol. So I think that is really refreshing.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, this alternative, we'll say, but still feels like you're sipping
it was 3 ingredients or 4?
That was
the simple syrup, the orange, or the lemon, it's the club soda.
The club soda was the 4th, and the Seedlip, yep.
Okay.
And so just a couple other, just a quick plug for the other types of Seedlip. So that they have 4 bottles right now. This is, I think, the only one I've tried because I tend to stick with what I like, but they also have one called Garden, which has more traditional garden herbs, including rosemary, thyme, and spearmint. There's one that is I'm excited to try, which is Notas de Agave. So really a little more of like pickly I can't talk today, prickly pear, lime, and kind of hints of vanilla. So I'm excited to try that one. And then the other one that I probably will shy away from is one that has more of allspice and cardamom. And like those are, see, you're like, yeah, I want to try that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Not. So I just thought it was fun to really try a couple different things, and I've been exploring more non-alcoholic options as I've been drinking less.
I love this. I think this Grove 42 citrus one is like a really good, like summery kind of drink. The other one that you were talking about with the cardamom and the that is like a cozy fall. That's what I'm thinking. Like if you like kind of those more like bourbon type drinks. And that's not generally me. I like them light and fruity. So. Yeah, this is so good. And I was just thinking too, like if you put rosemary in this
for a little bit of the
herb to it would taste really good. Yeah. This is good though.
Hey, real quick, by any chance, did you happen to look up the distillery that makes this?
I did not.
Okay, I'm just because there's maybe it's different, but because this is from the UK, and there's a gin from the UK, and it's
very similar, maybe.
Well, it's the logo. The logo's a little different, but it's I gotta look it up. But I just wonder if this is like a non-alcohol version that they're.
Well, it's a cute label too. You know how I feel about my labels, and that I would pull that off.
Because the other one has like a swan, if I remember correctly, on it.
And this one's like a little squirrel.
So this one is like a squirrel on top of some different citrus.
Yeah.
Bri, I would think you really like this with how much you enjoy gin.
And I do like it. Mine's halfway gone.
Mine's about gone. That would be my only problem with this is I'm drinking it really fast, but that's not a problem because
it's good.
It's still not that cheap, though. I'm just gonna say that like the price on if you order it online on the website is like $32.
So that has been the funny thing for me that I've started doing more non-alcohol or alternate or how would you say that? Alcohol alternatives, I guess, or non-alcoholic cocktails and things like that. And for some reason in my brain, I keep thinking they should be cheaper, like you're buying a soda. And the reality is that they are not.
Yep.
They are probably very close to. The same price as a bottle of liquor or a canned cocktail or a bottle of, inexpensive wine we don't want to talk about.
And there actually is an interesting debate online that it asks the question, should a mocktail be cheaper than a cocktail with alcohol in it? And the people are divided. And so it's really interesting because they're like, it takes the bartender the same amount of time to craft this mocktail than it does, than to also just add the vodka instead. So they say, yes, it should be the same because it takes the bartender the same amount of work. They put the same amount of thought into it. And then other people say no because there's no alcohol. But if you look at the price of this, it still would cost the bar the same
to be able to serve
price. Right, exactly.
I have really been enjoying alternatives because I've just found as I'm maturing, we'll say.
Are we maturing now?
We're mature at something. Yes. I don't know as I'm getting older, right? My body just does not handle alcohol like it used to, so I just notice the negative effects of it way sooner. And I don't like that, so I like to feel present and but still have fun and feel like you're participating because there's a little ritual behind making a drink and like having a cocktail, and so I've found myself leaning towards that a little bit more to feel like I'm, still hanging out and doing the social aspect of it, but not.
Yeah, and the social aspect is really interesting because I actually stopped drinking, 5 months ago. And I've been a big drinker and I love my wine. That's, what we focused on here at Squished Grapes. Now we're going to have to just have, non-alcoholic Squished Grapes. But, I think that the social is actually harder for me than just to stop drinking. The questioning that people ask, why? What's wrong? Like, it's such a social stigma to, not have a drink. So it also does kind of help, if you've got something that looks like a drink in your hand, people generally assume you're drinking.
And they just leave you alone.
Puts them at ease.
Yeah, exactly. It really does.
They're like, oh, okay.
It makes people uncomfortable, I've noticed, when I'm not drinking and they are. And I think that's really interesting. Yeah. So, but I also have been just exploring a couple different things. And like you said, the social aspect of just having something in your hand is really nice.
And sipping something, whatever that is. And I, to be honest, can only drink so many LaCroix or Spindrift.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice to have something that tastes good and it's fun to drink.
Have you tried the poppy?
I don't like the poppy.
I've only tried one or two, I think, of the poppy.
What's poppy? Oh, it's like a little...
like a pop with probiotics in it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the thing we were making fun of? Were they the ones that during the Super Bowl, they did those commercials or whatever?
Yes. Speaking of actually, let's pause for a minute. Non-holiday topic. 2 best teams in the NFL right now, Brian.
While we were recording this, yes. Top team in the NFC.
Well, right. While we were recording this, that's true.
The Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC.
That's right.
So you mean when this plays, there will only be one and it will be the Lions, right?
I don't know.
Not necessarily, but I mean... It'll probably be a couple weeks before we put this out, and things could change between.
But if they keep winning, or they each lose one, I mean, they could have the same record. But
no, they still could, but they may not be the top team in each conference moving forward a couple weeks from now.
Why are you so negative about?
I'm not negative. I'm just being realistic. No, are you kidding?
He's hoping that the Chiefs start to get knocked down a little bit. And so, for those listening, the Chiefs is my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I've lived in Michigan now for 20 years. Crazy enough, almost 20 years, and so there's always been a big push to get me to be a Lions fan. I will say I am a sucker for an underdog story, so I'm really hoping for the Lions Chiefs Super Bowl.
Came 30 minutes away last year.
I know. It was so close last year, and I was so excited, and I would 51% root for the Lions because I love a good underdog story, and the Chiefs have had their time in the sun.
Yeah. No, it's been that team's been so much fun to watch the past 2.5 years, so it's been really nice as a Lions fan.
It's been super fun. I am not a football person. Never have been. I've tried really hard to get into football. I'm trying, and the last 2 years have been the best.
Good time to start watching.
Effort I've had. I hear it's a good time to be a Lions fan.
I think there's a term for that, though, isn't that? Fair weather fan?
Not if you don't care, though.
It's called a mom supporting her sons.
Okay.
And the family. But I have watched a lot of games last year. I've watched almost every single game this year, or at least most of the game. Whereas before, I couldn't even tell you when they were on or who they were playing or what the record was. So
do the boys like it?
It's fun. Oh, they love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We come over here sometimes to watch the Chiefs game at Brian's house with my kids, and they I don't know if they like the football or they know that we're going to order out for dinner. I think
they like a combination of both.
Okay.
But probably 51% food, 49% the Chiefs are on.
Brian gets full bottles or cans of pop, and I only buy the mini cans, and they have been trying. They are on a path now to get me to buy the regular size cans, and I refuse.
No, I refuse too. That's funny that you do that. I only buy the mini cans. Yep. I feel like it's an appropriate amount of soda.
That's what we say. It's the appropriate amount.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I like this seed lip a lot. Where does one get this?
You can actually get it at what's the new place that's over by Anna's house on Grand or West River Drive, and it's a big.
I haven't been there.
I'm sure you can buy it at Rishi's. I'm sure you could buy it at.
Do you know there's a NA bottle shop right out here on Leonard, not far from you, called More or Less. I've not been there, but they have all NA options. Was it?
Oh, you told me about that.
I think I told you.
That's right. I was like, I just heard about that. You told me, and I told Brian.
Been yet, but I'd like to check it out because I wonder if they carry it too.
I bet you they do. We should definitely do that because I will say I have tried a lot of non-alcoholic like wines or alternatives, and there is a lot of gross ones out there. So I was super happy when I found this one, and then I'm sure we can find some others. Speaking of Rishi, though, that was a good episode. I really enjoyed listening to his take on like also the non-alcoholic piece because he stopped drinking for a while, took a pause, and so I really enjoyed listening to his journey and how meditation came into his life. I thought it was a really good episode.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to that one.
You should. You're just one behind, and that's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Just one, and that's the one.
Yes. So, good. Well, I love this. I think this is great. I think we should pause for a minute, because we have actually 3 drinks. I know typically...
Oh, okay.
Typically it's 2, right? But I want to make sure we have time to try the other 2 things, just so we can have a broad variety.
So are we, real quick, just as a guest, just asking. So we're saving trivia for one of the other sections?
Yeah,
as
we're going to do
spacing trivia out throughout the show?
Correct. We're going to have a whole trivia section. That way everybody can listen and play along at once.
That'll be great.
All right. See you in a minute.
We'll take a pause.
All right. Welcome back.
Do you think we lost any listeners?
No, I think we gained some listeners.
Right.
It was so good. People were texting their friends to like, quick join this podcast.
Get on.
Listen, fast forward. No, start from the beginning. Okay, so we are back with our second cocktail. This one is a pre-canned or a canned cocktail. So if you're just want to grab something quick rather than taking the time to make a mocktail. I guess I should say it's a canned mocktail, not a cocktail, because this is also a 0% ABV. This is from a company called Recess. It's 0 proof. It's a grapefruit Paloma.
I love a Paloma.
I also love a Paloma. Like Palomas and margaritas. If I'm actually going to have a cocktail, that's probably what I'm going to order, followed by a gin drink. Sorry, Bri.
You don't have to apologize.
We'll save the best for last.
We saved the best for last. So this is infused with, don't know if I'm going to say this, guayasa and adaptogens, and it's lightly sparkling.
Okay,
so let's give it a try. And there's 30 calories.
All right.
There's a little calorie.
Cheers. It's good. I would drink it, but I would probably add a squeeze of actual grapefruit into it.
Oh,
or lemon.
Interesting.
But I do like it, and I think it's actually, I think it's something I would drink one of, and not like at a time. I wouldn't drink more than one, but I like it. But I would just make it a little more citrusy, because that's what I like about the Paloma, is it tastes a little fresh fruit. I would just doctor it up a little.
Yeah, so they come in a 12-ounce can, and I would say that one of these, so I had one of these over the weekend, and it was enough. Like, one was enough. I poured half at a time, kind of drink. But I like, it's not super sweet.
No, it is not.
And that's what I like, because that's why I tend to like, actually, like a good margarita or Paloma. To me, they're almost a little bit bitter with a little sweetness, and that's what I like about it. So this one tastes the closest to like a real Paloma.
I like it. It's actually growing on me, and I'll tell you why too, because we put it on ice. And you were like, you probably don't need a lot of ice, so just maybe one. I put like a lot of ice in mine. And I really like it the colder it gets. Brian.
So real quick.
What do you think?
Paloma, so that's normally a tequila drink, right? Just
Yes.
Okay, so I've never had one before. Because I don't drink tequila.
And do you like grapefruit?
No, not really.
Okay, so there you go.
So this one really isn't for you then.
But this is better than what I thought it would be. And I don't drink, tequila, I don't drink it for, probably because it was like cheaper tequila when I was in college, but also it's not a good alcohol for me to have. Like, for whatever reason, it flips a switch, kind of not nice.
Did you say become angry or mean?
No, more of an
flipped
a-hole.
A switch.
Like mean Brian, sort of. A-hole Brian comes out. No one needs to see or deal with that, so I just haven't had tequila since like I was 20 years old. So
I don't know that I've ever seen Mean Brian.
I don't think I have either.
That.
It's because
that's probably
why. We don't need that.
So. And so the company was Recess, and are there?
0 proof.
I assume there's other brands of other types.
Yeah, they have other flavors. They have a lime margarita. I've seen.
So do they do kind of tequila-based beverages then?
No, they're all different. There's the Paloma, the lime margarita. There's a mule. And then there's one other one that I saw that I cannot remember what it was. So I've seen 4 of them, but they do have a website. If you go, they have a bunch of different options on the website. But I found the Fresh Time by my house has started carrying a ton of NA options. And so that's where I found it. And because I was getting tired of having my glass of wine, and then we're out doing something social, or we have people at our house, and I kept grabbing a Spindrift. And I love Spindrift. You just get tired of them after a while. So I thought, what can I grab to be my after drink?
I do like that. It says grapefruit Paloma, and in Paloma it's in quotes. So it's like saying it's not a real Paloma. It's a Paloma with the quotes. But
it reminds me of like a non-sweet, like I don't want to say it, like a light cola sort of. To me, like it's got a little bit of a cola flavor for some reason.
Interesting.
But not as sweet. But I don't know how to
actually see that.
So.
I get a ton of grapefruit flavor out of it, but maybe that's just me.
I don't get a ton. I would add more, but I love it as a base. I would add just a little more fresh fruit or fresh fruit juice, and maybe a splash of simple. But
now I will say to our earlier one with like the seed lip, it's not cheap. They come in packs of 4, and it's at the grocery store that I buy it at, it's $12.99 for 4 of them. So it's not like...
Well, my guess is the distillers are doing the same process, right?
Yeah, they're still
they're still making a base and adding those botanicals in. So the process and the canning and the bottling, like, all of that's the same. So outside of whatever money they would save on ingredients... in terms of that, I gotta see it. There wouldn't be,
There's adaptogens.
So. Yeah, and let's talk about that. What is an adaptogen? What are we adapting? The gin? No.
Oh, I thought it was adaptogen. Sorry. I had a whole list. Sorry. I was going to become the Brady Bunch.
I love it. Let's adopt several.
So, I don't actually, I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there. My understanding
really, because with those glasses.
They're natural. I know.
I like them, by the way.
I feel it elevates my IQ a bit just by wearing the glasses, I think.
I trust you more.
I'm going to go with it. Oh, wow. Thank you. So adaptogens, that will be another episode. Where
I just looked it up really quick. Ooh, this is good, actually.
It's supposed to be good for you.
Into the Google. It's substances that may reduce the negative effects of stress on your body.
Yeah.
And it may also help improve your body's resistance to stress and offer other benefits as well. It was first used in 1940 to describe a certain plant-based extracts that can non-specifically enhance the human body. Wow.
Wait, what's it called?
So there's
an adaptogen.
Adaptogen?
No,
look at right here on the can.
And it's a one word, adaptogen.
Yeah. Oh!
So that may be also why they're a little bit pricier, because they're supposed to have, it's not just a sparkling fruit juice. There's some other stuff in it. I will say, I did not realize this when I first bought them. There is 10 milligrams of caffeine in each of the cans, so if you're really sensitive to caffeine, or like you're drinking it late at night and that's going to keep you up, you might not want that.
How many milligrams does like coffee have in it for
like
reference?
65 usually.
Okay, so it's roughly. Just a tiny bit then. Okay.
Yeah, it's very little, but if you're sensitive to caffeine and you're having one of those at like 11 p.m.,
it's good to be aware.
Might not be the right idea.
So, interestingly, as I'm going down the rabbit hole here, it also says that some adaptogens can give you a buzz, including green tea, holy basil, not to be confused with the non-holy basil, ginseng, mushrooms, some sort of berries, and maca root. And they can give you an energy buzz, but without the anxiety and accelerated heart rate that caffeine does. So now we've all learned something about adaptogens.
Well, I didn't know they existed.
Well, you didn't even know how to pronounce them, so that's
Nor
fair.
spell it when I looked at it, so I would have completely...
That is fair. So, yeah, no, I think it's good. I would probably just doctor it up a little bit and play with it, but I would totally drink another one.
Yeah.
If I came to your house, I would drink that.
All right. Well, I just restocked. So
great. With only the Paloma or other kinds?
Only the Paloma. Okay. I really like the Paloma. I really like the Paloma. And to be honest, I haven't tried the other ones.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So.
But like you said, they're expensive, so you're kind of like, it's a little bit risky to go buy them. Like, you're making a commitment to these canned cocktails, and if they're terrible, then
you're stuck.
Then you got to give them to Brian when he comes over.
I know, exactly.
Just hope he doesn't notice.
All right, so it is almost Thanksgiving. We are at recording this. We are a few days before it. It's super late in the month this time, which means that Christmas is coming soon and the holidays. So how
Christmas
far
is like
are you?
a month away from today.
I know. Oh, that's right. It's always takes me by surprise every year.
Right.
Like when is it? It just sneaks up on you from around the corner. So on a scale from like percent wise, 0 to 100, how much have you done your Christmas shopping? I feel like Brian's he's probably already on it.
No, well, only because I bought something last week that will become the Christmas gift. But otherwise, personally, I don't like Christmas shopping. I can't start
till after Thanksgiving?
Until typically after December 10th.
Oh.
Like, I need to be close to the holidays. Like, that gets me going.
Okay.
Like a little I just got stressed out and need more adaptogens.
No, I just need, like, the fall is my favorite time, but I need, there's, like, Halloween time, and then it needs a little break, and then it's Thanksgiving time, I need a little break, and then Christmas.
Okay, so December 10th, you'll start getting
I'll probably have to start a little earlier just because more of it's, like, online, and you got to make sure it gets delivered these days.
Okay.
Not all of it. Like, I still prefer... I try to buy as much as I can in person, still. Right, because I'm old-fashioned. But I enjoy doing that. So.
And if that question gave you anxiety, Kelly,
then you're done.
I'm going to guess you're at about 0. Wait, does it give you anxiety because he hasn't started? Or because we're talking about it and you haven't started. That's what I thought.
Both. I think both.
Oh, okay.
I think both. I used to be the one that would go out on like Christmas Eve and get the rest of the presents.
Totally, me too.
I am not a big gift person, and it's so hard for me, especially with kids. Like, they have so much stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, and like when I look around, it's so generous. Like, family's so generous. They have friends that are generous, and it's a little bit sad because you look around and you're like, do you even know what you got last year? So I have a hard time with gifts. So anyhow, I would give myself a very generous 20%.
Wow.
We have bought a few things, mostly because Liverpool had a little sale, so we ordered some things.
That's fun.
But not a lot.
That's fine. Yeah, I haven't. I'm either. I'm with Brian. I've ordered one gift.
Yeah, I need to get through Thanksgiving this year, I think, and then I'll shift my brain over to Christmas. Probably before December 10, though. Yeah. That feels a little...
Like, once I hit December, like, I need to be in December.
That's a good...
I have to be
boundary.
in December.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair.
Okay. Any good gifts for the season this year? Or, like, have you heard of anything?
Like, what's the new thing?
Yeah.
I haven't, because either my nieces and nephews are, like, too young to be, like, whatever, like, sort of the it thing is, or they're teenagers now, and they just want, like, clothes,
electronics.
And they send you their list, I was going to say.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids are into cash as well. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You need to, I'd like to give you something to open that doesn't fold.
Their birthdays, I don't mind giving them cash, but for Christmas, I want to have a gift. It's just more, I don't know, I just like that better. So
I remember, Molly, you had a great little model for buying gifts that I have tried to implement with my family to some degree of success. But you had the something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read.
Yes.
Do you still do that?
I don't do it. I've heard of that. I don't do it. We have our stockings. They get a book gift card, like a gift card to a bookstore, and they each get, it is like something to wear and maybe something fun, but it's like very small. So I guess I do. I just don't specifically go through that. My thing is for our family, we have 6 of us. We have implemented maybe 7 years ago, Mom and Dad Day. Well, it's like, for Christmas, we have Family Day. And so every year, it doesn't happen on Christmas. It has to happen within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we have gone tubing one year. We went to the movies one year, and then it's kind of like kids get to pick what's for dinner or, and they love it. And I asked them last year, are you guys tired of this like Mom and Dad Day that we all go out and do something? And they were like, no, we love it. So that's kind of, so it's that thought of experiences versus things to open.
Yeah, we're doing a lot more of that as well. Especially as kids are older, like, everything they want is either stuff we don't want them to have, or it's electronic. Like, I feel like they just want...
They do love the
electronics. Like, video games. My son wants an Xbox, and I said, you already have one. He said, well, that's for Carter. I can't play on that. Then I'm like, we don't need 2 of these things in our house.
2 Xboxes.
So we've started doing a lot more experiences, too. Just because...
Are good.
Yeah. They'll remember... I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they'll remember that.
I agree. I think they remember the experiences way more than what they got last year. Nobody can tell me what they got. So.
Although Jensen will tell you, I asked him actually yesterday when we were talking about with us what they wanted for Christmas, and I said, do you remember anything that you got for Christmas in the last 2 years? He goes, I got a Jamar Chase jersey.
Oh, there you
go. He knew exactly what he got.
Does he still wear it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
So well, because we buy him, they're huge. It's like a gown on him.
You have to.
So anyhow, so he does remember that, but he is...
You have to get the price per wear down to like $1 per wear.
He's going to be able to wear it until he's like 16.
Oh, good. Perfect. All right, we do have some trivia, which I'm pretty excited about because I love Christmas movies. First, I don't think Brian would have. Kelly, have you watched any of the Hallmark movies on Netflix this year?
No.
There's like a bunch of them. You don't watch them, Brian, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. Jen probably seen some.
Is there murder?
A Christmas murder.
There is probably a murder
Not on
one. Yeah, but there's like a snowman, but like, and I've only seen like a little bit like the hot snowman, and it's like I know I think it's Ted from Schitt's Creek. And he's like,
they tried to sex him up a little bit this year.
Yeah, that's not what he looked like on Schitt's Creek.
They know what the people want.
I haven't watched it yet, but I am intrigued enough to wonder how it's going to end. I mean, like, will he turn real? Will he melt? Like, I'm a little intrigued by the tag.
Try this.
You know?
Well, okay, I have a self-imposed rule, which is Christmas things don't happen until after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Wait, your decorations?
Decorations, okay. Christmas music, the movies, all of that. This year, I have broken that rule.
Uh-oh.
You unthawed Mariah Carey early?
Yes. And, okay, so we watched on Saturday night, we had Friendsgiving, and some friends stayed and hung out for a little bit, and we watched An Office Christmas Party, which is hilarious if you've never seen it. So highly inappropriate.
Oh.
That's the one with like Jason Bateman.
So funny, yes.
The guy from Silicon Valley.
So we watched that. That's technically a Christmas movie. Okay. And then actually on the way over here, I turned on the Christmas music so that I would be ready for the holiday episode.
I love it.
Nice.
Spirit.
And Mariah Carey was the last song that played before I parked in the driveway.
Yes. I can't help but hate myself for loving it, though.
You know?
I love it. So, okay, so we have each kind of talked about what our favorite movie is. So, Cal, you're going to go first on trivia here. So, your favorite movie, you actually gave 2, but we're only focused 1. So, what was your your favorite one?
Home Alone.
Yes, Home Alone. I also love Home Alone. And I'd say we watch it every couple of years, but not quite every year.
Every year. It will play probably on Thanksgiving night, if not the next day.
Wow. Okay. And then do you go through all of the Home Alone movies? Or just...
I really only like the first 2.
Yeah. Okay. The one where they go to New York, too.
Yeah, Home Alone and then Home Alone Lost in New York.
Wait, there's more than 2?
Oh, there's 5.
There's 5 or something.
With like all the same characters and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have 2 questions. I think one might be easy and the other one will be interesting. How many siblings did Kevin have?
Siblings?
Yeah, siblings. Mm-hmm. And I go back to thinking about that opening scene, right, where they're at the house. And it's like,
so
where are all these people
around.
coming from?
I think 2.
Brian, do you have a guess?
I want to say 5.
Wow, this is a big gap. Okay, so it's 4.
Oh.
I know. So a lot of those are cousins.
Yes, that's what I knew.
Yeah. And so I know, and I always know there's Buzz, and then there's the one girl that says, "You're what the French say, les incompetents."
Yeah.
And then there's maybe a brother. I don't remember. So yeah. So I thought it was interesting because in that first one, I'm like, gosh, you must have 7 siblings. You know, because there's so many kids running around. But okay, this one is a little bit of more, we'll say, subjective. What did Kevin McAllister's dad do for a job? And or mom? I know, it's like a trick question almost. Because they don't actually ever say it, but it's a big conspiracy theory. Like, why did they have a house that big?
And they took their entire family on vacation and flew first class.
And, oh, yeah, exactly. Well, not the kids. Remember, the kids were in coach.
Well, yeah, but the adults were.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, like, if you have a theory, like, there's a...
I thought he was laundering money for a Colombian drug cartel. That's not it?
I mean, it could be.
Just kidding.
So they... You didn't know.
I had no idea.
Advertising executive.
I did. Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
that's a good one.
That is a good one. I really like it. And actually, you're pretty close, Brian, because it says that Todd Strasser, who wrote the official novelization of Home Alone, said that he was a businessman because it was a safe bet. So I actually really like your guess of a, what did you say, an advertising executive.
Yeah.
That actually is, I think, pretty good.
You know, New York, there's a lot of marketing for a lot of firms based there.
Yeah, he probably got some kickback too to go first class. You know, I don't know. Okay, then the other thing is his mom. There's a theory that his mom, Kate McAllister, was worked in fashion because there was mannequins. Remember how there were so many mannequins when they were like dancing in the window? I thought that was like, you know, kind of an interesting theory. I don't know. So
who knew?
Well, that's a good one. But I haven't been to many houses where there's a lot of mannequins around.
Right,
you know? Exactly.
Well, that's what when they're, you know, and he really set up the stage for a party, right? The mannequins are like moving around. There's a cutout of a basketball player, I think.
Yeah, I mean, who just has that in their house?
Yeah.
Although they had a lot of stuff in that attic, so you never know.
That's true. They did. So.
Renee has a cutout of someone in her house.
What does she have?
I can't remember. I know she's like staged stuff with the person like on the couch before and stuff. Yeah.
Are you thinking of her doll though?
No. There's the doll.
What is it
like
called?
it's like Elvis or somebody. We'll have to ask her.
Okay,
but
we'll ask her.
I think it was like at one point it was like to make it look like she had company or something. I can't remember. We'll have to ask Renee, but there's something. There's some funny story around that.
Okay, I love it. Okay. All right, Brian, your choice was kind of tough actually to look up trivia questions.
Well, you didn't. You just asked me what my favorite movie was. You didn't say, "Please tell me your favorite movie," because I'm trying to look up trivia for it.
Well, I know. I guess gonna spoil it. Okay, what was your choice?
It was the movie I also mentioned during our holiday episode last year.
Okay.
It's my favorite movie from Christmas. It's the 1951 A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sims, who plays Scrooge, and
you would have been about 4 when that came out.
Sorry, you have to leave now.
You've been uninvited.
No. But we used to watch that movie like every year on Christmas Eve, and yeah, it's great. I love it.
Nice. What, do you watch it every year?
I still try to watch it every year, but we don't always watch it like as a family now.
Okay.
We'll try to like, my nieces like to watch like, you know, whatever the new kind of like Christmas movie is. So we'll kind of do that. But my sister Lori and I both have like versions and copies of it. So we'll try and catch it like together maybe, or
okay, that's good.
I'll catch it back at home. So
all right, here's two questions for you. So although the word Scrooge means a stingy person now, we call them a Scrooge, right? In Charles Dickens' time, the word was slang for what? To mean something else.
A banker?
No.
Mm-hmm. A rich single man?
So, no, but you're kind of on the right track. And, well, I think you are.
A rich single banker.
Think of somebody who's tight with their money.
A miser?
What's a miser?
Someone who's tight with their money.
You're not introducing new slang.
I learned something new. What's a miser? Okay. No, it means, I'm going to give you the answer here. The word is a slang term meaning to squeeze. And I thought that was really interesting.
Oh.
They used Scrooge in that time to indicate squeezing, like, you know.
Yeah, probably they get every nickel out of
every
deal.
nickel they could, right?
So.
Okay, so Charles Dickens has several stories, and A Christmas Carol and another movie are among the most frequently filmed, having been made A Christmas Carol 21 times.
Okay.
And this other movie 18 times.
Oliver Twist.
It is Oliver Twist. May I have some more, please? You know, I don't even know if I must have seen it at some point.
Well, there's 18 versions around.
I know, exactly. How could there be that many versions, though?
Because they probably made a bunch in England.
I've seen one version.
They probably made a couple then in America, and then every 10 years they're like, hey, you know what we should do? Let's dust off Oliver Twist.
That would be my guess. When was the last one made, though? You'd think there would be a modern version, but is that? I don't know.
Could be overseas.
Could be.
That's true. I didn't think about the overseas. Okay, Brian, you have some questions for me.
I did.
My favorite movie is the Christmas Vacation. Every year.
Classic.
And I like
Classic.
This is the equivalent of Jen's Ferris Bueller. Like, he knows every word. But now I'm a little nervous because Brian came up with 2 trivia questions that.
Well, I have 3.
Well, I failed both of mine.
Well,
so
they were kind of hard.
A little embarrassing.
The second wasn't a real question, though. That was like, what does his dad do?
I did like it, though. Yeah, it was an interesting.
So I think these are
every year. Okay, go ahead.
Medium difficulty, let's say.
Okay. Kelly, do you watch this one frequently?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So you guys can both.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Question number 1 is, which animal gets electrocuted by biting a Christmas light cord?
Oh, it's their cat.
Yep.
And then it makes a big cat-shaped hole in the floor. Right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. But cat is the right answer.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Question number 2. What kind of membership does Clark's boss give him?
It's something of the month. Is it jelly? Jam?
Jam of the month?
Jam of the month?
Something like that.
I feel like I'm going to say jelly of the month.
That is correct.
Yes.
Jelly of the month. Good job. Okay. Finally, what does Clark put on his sled to make it go faster?
It's, it comes out of a spray. Is it WD-40? Is that right, Cal?
I don't know. Is it that or is it used like cooking spray?
It might be cooking spray. It's something.
I feel like it's like Crisco or something.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
and he has a whole saying about it, too. I don't know. What is it?
It's the same, but you guys are on the right track. It is a new non-caloric silicone-based kitchen lubricant that this company is working on. It creates a surface 500 times more slippery than any cooking oil.
Okay.
And I believe they also refer to it as a space-age polymer.
Yeah, that is a great question,
that's a good one.
because I never would have remembered all of that. But it's a good one. And I make my kids, we do our family Christmas on Christmas Eve with all of Nathan's family. And then we come home at 7 and we put the movie on. And stems from my childhood. Like, my mother loved it. And we would watch it at weird times throughout the year, like that wasn't Christmas, which in hindsight seems really weird, but it didn't.
It's just a super funny movie.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
the
hilarious.
original Vacation and that Vacation are just, like, very well done.
Yeah.
Like, types of movies you can watch any time of the year.
Okay, and final question before we are going to break for our next drink. Well, we have to prep our next drink. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not a Christmas movie?
100% yes.
Brian?
I don't really care. Like,
Die Hard we watch on
Die Hard-
Christmas night almost every year.
Okay.
It's after all the family leaves.
Okay.
Like, I can
Kids are in bed. We'll watch Die
I'm
Hard.
neutral on this because I understand why some people view it as a Christmas movie, and I completely understand why some people don't. Like, I don't have a dog in that fight, not really.
You don't really care. Okay, I'm with Kelly, 100% yes. And yes, it takes place at Christmas time, but also you only watch it during Christmas time. I'd say the general population. I know someone's going, I watch it, but...
I watched it in July.
I know, but for the most part, I agree. And so now there's a big debate, and so we will be watching it this year because Sky really wants to know. My 13-year-old really wants to make a decision for herself if this is a Christmas movie or not. So,
Do you guys happen to know do you know when it came out? Like, when it first came out of the theaters, was it released? No. What year? No, was it released, like, during the holidays?
Probably. I mean,
I would guess
would be my question.
1,000% yes. Because
We'll
they're
have
not
to
going to
Google that
release a
during the
Christmas movie in July.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But did the studio think of it as a Christmas movie? That's my question.
I think yes.
So I think the question would be answered by when did the studio release that? If they put that movie out in the summer, technically that is not a Christmas movie. So I would say it's based on when did the studio release it. That's my final answer.
Okay, I'm going to look that up while we're on the break.
We're going to Google it during the break.
The next one. So we will see you in a moment. All right, welcome back for our final segment here of our holiday edition of Toast Squished Grapes. I do want to follow up before we get into our final drink on a very important piece, which we left, which was when was Die Hard released and whether or not it was a Christmas movie. 1,000% Kelly and I agree. Yes, it's a Christmas movie. Brian didn't care either way. And interestingly, it did come out July 22nd, 1988. Shocking. I am glad that the microphone was turned off for that because I screamed really loud. I was like, there is no way that it came out in July.
I refuse to believe that it's not a Christmas movie, so I'm going to say, they marketed it as Christmas in July or something.
All right.
I mean, it's a Christmas movie.
If you think it is a Christmas movie, or if you disagree, go to the post on Instagram and comment. That'll help drive,
Two people.
Traffic, all two people. Help drive traffic, right?
Hey,
at the Botanical Trails, is it or is it not a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Toast Squished Grapes has quite the following.
That's true.
You guys
Ours
are
might be.
You're in the top, I can't remember, 5
30?
or 10 of downloads for the podcast.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for the first time. The second time it tanked, but...
No, it didn't. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding.
One of the reviews, I think on Apple, said that is their favorite episode.
Oh, I love that. We're so good, aren't we good?
I love it.
All right. Well, here is
So did your sister rate that?
Probably. Here's our third mocktail. And actually, this is falls under our OG topic, which is wine. So I bought this, and I've been on the search for some wine alternatives, and as I mentioned, some are not good. But this one is by Groovy, Gruvi, and it is advertised as a bubbly rosé. So we can try it, and it also says the drink you deserve. So I just want to say you deserve this.
So is it like a wine?
Yep, it's a rosé is a wine, but I have a commentary, but I want you to try it before I give you that.
Okay.
So it looks like a rosé. And to me, it tastes like a cider. So it does not taste like a rosé to me. It tastes like a cider.
Tastes like a cider to me as well.
I like it better than a cider.
You don't like ciders, right?
I don't like ciders.
Do you like that?
I would drink this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. You made me nervous on this one because you don't love usually white wines. Like, and this is a light, I'm not saying it's white, but like a rosé kind of falls into that. It's not a cab, right? A California cab. Which Brian and I like.
Right? There you go.
Yes, exactly. See, he was listening on that.
He was listening.
But I wasn't even sure you'd like it because of the sweetness of it.
So can we get the other bottle then?
Yeah, I brought another one. Yeah, well, I didn't know if you'd like it. Do you like it?
I do really like it. Yeah. It's nice and...
This is my favorite of the three.
It's
really?
Dry, which is good. You don't get that... Sometimes when you're drinking these fruit-based things, you get that like sugary taste in your mouth after you drink it, and
it's
you don't
very
get that
crisp.
with this.
But I just laugh every time I see it says rosé, because to me it's just like a cider.
It is crisp.
So
this is our highest calorie.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
But at 60 calories. So like
and I only drink one. I can't drink more than one.
No,
generally.
Most of these I feel like you drink one and it's kind of
one and done.
But I mean, if you're looking for alcohol alternatives from a calorie perspective, it's still way less than anything else you're going to be drinking.
Yeah, exactly. So
how much is in like a normal cocktail then? Like calorie-wise?
What's vodka? Like 140, I think, calories. Oh. You're going to have Miller Lite, it's 98.
Is that just the vodka itself, not incling like what you're mixing
it with? Any kind of mixer, right. Like I think they say like glass of champagne or white wines like 120. Hard liquors usually around 140. Red wine starts at like 160, but depends on all the additives and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, if you think about it, and then you like, if you like heavy IPAs and beers, like that's could be way up there to the point where they don't even put it on the bottle.
So price wise, it's about the same as the one that you had. It's about $13-14 for a 4-pack. Fun fact, when I went and bought this pack, I actually bought 2 of the 4-packs, so I had one in each hand, and the cardboard broke. The 4-pack dropped and shattered all over the store. What? And that's the type of day I was having. So it just, that was the perfect end to it. I felt very bad, but they were very, very kind about it, and I was like, well, that can't have been the worst.
How's it your fault the package broke?
I know, I felt bad. I could have held it from the bottom, but it wasn't the most expensive thing I'm sure that's broken in a liquor store. So, but yeah, I enjoy it. I like having it, but in my brain I think it's more really like a cider. If you like
it does kind of taste like a cider. It looks like a rosé.
It does look like a rosé.
Tastes like a cider. So. I did see this one at the store when I grabbed those Palomas, and I thought, I want to try that, but an NA like rosé to me, I'm like, I don't know, that's probably going to be terrible, and I didn't try it, so I'm glad I got to try it.
Good.
It's actually.
Do they make other stuff? Do you know?
They do, and the one that looks more like, I think it's at a Prosecco.
Yes.
Not good.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. No Secco, I think they call it.
No Secco, yeah, and it was almost so bad that I actually wondered if it was like
bad,
had turned. Yeah.
Huh.
And so, but now I'm not brave enough to buy another 4-pack, because if I was right, then that's a waste of like $16 or whatever, $14, whatever it is. So I would try it again if somebody else had it, but I kind of just stick with what I know here. So it's been good. I'm glad you like it, Brian.
Yeah.
So
I would say they're all fine.
All right.
Yeah, like I would have.
But you like this one the best?
I think so. I mean, the other one was very much like a cocktail, like a.
The first one?
The first one.
Yeah.
So that one was...
The lemon drip.
Was good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I just made it up.
Maybe the lemon drip was my favorite now that I think about it. But those two are close.
And Kelly, what'd you like out of the 3?
They're all so different. Like the lemon drip was so good, but it probably tasted the most like a non-drink drink. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Just more like a regular drink. I don't know. This tastes
good, right?
Yeah, they're all really good.
I feel like this was a winning episode. We tried lots of different things.
And they were all really good.
And I will just say, I'll just throw out some other options if people are looking for them. I drink cranberry and club soda with a twist of lime. Is a very common one for me if I'm out somewhere.
Do you can that, or you just...
Do I can it? I should. I'd be rich. They probably already make that. And then I've also done like club soda and... mint and simple syrup for like a mojito.
Oh,
yeah, that's really good too.
Tasty.
Yeah, just something light and easy. So
I like that.
It doesn't always have to be like something in a bottle or a can, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't. Sometimes I'll order if I'm out and don't want a cocktail like alcohol. I will do my other vice, which is a Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah,
and order myself one of those because it still feels like a treat.
I do love a good Coke,
and I don't drink them often, and so I figure. I was going to have a beer, but now I'm just going to have a Coca-Cola instead.
And you'll have less of a hangover.
Exactly.
So I love a good McDonald's Coke. It's always for me. Oh,
there is like a cult following of McDonald's soda.
There's actually a scientific reason for that. The straw is slightly wider.
Yep.
And the I think that the lines are colder, so it comes out colder. And so because if you Google like why is Coke from McDonald's so much better, there is a scientific reason around it.
And they probably have a very specific like syrup to carbonation
I'm sure
ratio that
they have
is
something
standard
that's dialed
across.
in that just works.
Right, that just works. Because sometimes, I mean, every once in a while you get that fountain soda somewhere and you're like, wow, this is really good.
Yes.
That's why.
I know, that's where I'm at too.
So are you the kind of person that will go to McDonald's just for a fountain Coke?
Yes. If I really wanted it, I would. And I don't drink a lot of pop anyway, but
if you just get the Coke or you're like, I'm here, might as well get the French fries to go with it.
I would definitely get the French fries with it, but I would go for the Coke. Yeah. Yes. And then if the fries...
Coke, not Diet Coke, right?
No.
Okay, because
full calorie.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it has to be piping hot, burning my lips, fries with the salt. Otherwise, I just... They've got a shelf life of like 120 seconds. So,
this is true.
But they have to be like piping hot, and they're so good. Yeah, I know. It's so good. So, all right. Well, in the interest of time, I know the three of us could sit here certainly and talk all night long, but let's start with our off the beaten path, and let's start with our guest.
Me?
Ryan, yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay. So I was trying to think of a Christmas theme off the beaten path, and I wouldn't say it's too far off the path because it's someone that people may know, but it's David Sedaris, and he has written a couple of different like short stories around kind of Christmas. So there is a collection that you can get that has quite a few of them. It's called Holidays on Ice. And it takes different stories that he's done over the first couple of years of his career, and it kind of puts them all together. The one that he's known that is in that, but that he was it kind of kicked off his career a little bit to some extent, but it's called Santaland Diaries.
I don't think I've heard that.
Yes, and it is about him when he was kind of going through a rough time in New York, and he becomes an elf at the Macy's Santaland.
Oh,
and it is sort of like a behind the scenes story of him being this elf, and if you've ever written or ever read anything by him, it's very sort of just snarky and funny, and
he's a little dry, right? But like in a deadpan kind of way.
Yeah, you went and saw him with me one time.
Yeah,
and so I mean, he's just reading the stuff that he writes at those events. So yes, that's kind of what you get. But like in the Santaland Diary, I don't want to give too much away, but like they get to name themselves what elf name do they want. So he names himself like Trumpet, which is just like a completely
I love that.
goofy, and then he talks about how this other elf named Snowball was totally like flirting with him one time, but then when they came to break or whatever, the end of the shift, he realized Snowball was flirting with half the elves and Santas during the day. And anyhow, that one is probably the best known of his different stories. And if you want to get a flavor of not just his Christmas ones, it was in his first book that came out that's called Barrel Fever. So
Barrel Fever. Okay. What books do you have here?
Barrel Fever.
Okay.
And then there is another one, which is Dress Your Family in Corduroy and Denim. It is totally not a very PC story, but it is about a time when he went to visit the Netherlands, and it's called 6 to 8 Black Men, and it is the story that they tell their kids over there about they don't have Santa, they have Saint Nicholas.
Oh.
But it is about how they will come to your house, and if like you've been bad, they'll like put you in a bag and they'll beat you with like a switch. Anyhow, but if you read it, the story is hilarious. And that story can be found either in that book, or you can also like go online.
So this is
where
one
people
short
read it.
story
it's a short
in a
story
segment of other stories.
And you can go online.
Okay.
Also, and you can just type in, that title and you can listen to like a reading of it, but it is nearly tear-inducing for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
From laughing, though.
From laughing.
From,
no, not from bad. You're just, no, because I find him to be very funny.
Okay.
So, and then I also said I had a little quick piece of show and tell. So if you don't need to read the whole thing, but if you want to just read at the bottom of that.
This is a postcard.
Yep.
I can't read what's on the cover. To Brian Heater. And, oh my, dear Brian, thanks for your stories. You sent your stories to him?
Well, you don't have to read the whole thing.
Which I read with pleasure. That's so nice. This is a postcard from David Sedaris. That's really amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. Like, I sent him a little collection of stories after
I've been trying to learn a series of instrumental CDs. I can't really read some of this writing, but I need some serious help if I ever hope to read a menu. I guess you'd have to read the whole thing in context, but that's really
that is really cool.
And it looks actually, maybe it was pen. It kind of looks like it was written in pencil. Oh, and it's from France.
Yep, he was living in France.
Sent to you November 30th. And it looks like, I can't read the year.
It's like 2006.
96?
Oh, 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So I wonder what it says on the cover.
It looks like it's in Japanese.
Yeah, it's a Japanese symbol. So I'd seen him speak at the Detroit Opera House, and he's talking about some time he had spent in Japan, and for whatever reason, I got inspired to send him my collection of short stories about the time when I was in Japan. I just sent it to his literary agent or his publisher.
Yeah.
And they shipped it to him, and he
that's pretty amazing.
Read it, and then he wrote me a postcard. It's kind of crazy. So anyhow,
you must have lost your mind when you got that postcard.
I totally didn't expect it. Like, I get that thing, and then I flip on the back, and I see it's from France.
And I love that not only do you still have it, you had it accessible.
I had to go find it today.
Oh, you did?
But
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But yes.
Awesome.
So anyhow.
That's really
So that was my little show and tell, although this isn't on video. But
I love that.
This is a really cool thing that he took the time to write that back and actually reference.
Yeah,
I just sat there and read it. So.
I love it.
Some points in your story, so that's really cool.
So anyhow, that is my off the beaten path.
Well, I don't think we can top that.
I don't think we can top that. Maybe we just skip ours.
And we are wrapping up. That's amazing. That is a very cool story. So, all right, Kel, you're up.
All right, I, as with all of my off the beaten paths, I never feel like they're really that far off of the beaten path, more mainstream, but you never know, because I have mentioned this to a few people recently, and they look at me questioning, like, what? I've not heard of that. So my off the beaten path is a genre of music called dark academia.
Oh, and the last one you did was the penny.
The well pennies.
The well pennies, right? One of them, not the last one. The one before. That was the first one.
No, well pennies.
No, that was when we did
was on with me when we did the gins.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I knew that you had brought that because I listened to them.
Yeah, they're good.
I do like the well pennies.
Okay, so that's funny. But anyways,
so dark academia is a little different. So if you're not familiar with what dark academia is, it's a subculture and aesthetic that focuses on higher education, literature, and the arts.
Huh.
It's characterized by traditional academic, nostalgic feel, vintage, kind of very
music
like that. But it's music, and so there's actually I'm going to call it a producer because I don't really know how else to categorize it. But the Emeralds, and it's classical, and it's known for its high quality repertoire. The music has become popular as a way of romanticizing the listener's lives and as a backdrop for quiet hours of reading and studying.
Oh, I love that.
So I usually will play that. The only way I can describe it is cozy and fall and soothing, but a little bit mysterious.
So how do you listen to it?
I just listen to it while I'm reading.
But on Spotify, or how do you?
I find it on Apple Music. So Dark Academia playlist.
You just put Dark Academia playlist.
Yep, and this one that I love is the Emeralds. Produces it or pulls it together. I don't know how you would say that because it's not. They don't make the music. They pull. It's other composers and artists and whatnot. But it's something I've really been enjoying lately, and it's just very calming to me.
And it's called Dark Academia. Correct. That's the genre.
Yeah, if you search that on probably Spotify or Apple Music or whatnot, something will pop up.
I've never heard that term before
Me neither.
Oh.
Dark
Okay,
Academia.
see, then maybe it is.
I feel like that is pretty off the beaten path.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's totally off the beaten path.
That is not something that...
If you would have said, we're going to talk about Dark Academia, I would be like, oh, what is this fantasy series?
Yeah, it's like the dark web, but in manga. That's what I feel like it is. I think it comes to me like that because the boys watch or read or something My Hero Academia, and that was a manga series, so that's what came to my mind. But
so I really enjoy it, and I have been on a fantasy romantasy book kick lately.
Okay.
A lot of like magic and other world, and so this fits like really nicely as background music when you're reading those kinds of stories.
Did you read the ACOTAR series?
I sure did.
Okay. And is it, would you say, worth the hype, overhyped, or kind of about the right hype? That's A Court of Thorn and Roses, if you don't know what ACOTAR
It is all the hype.
Really?
Yes. However, I have not read her other series.
Okay.
That is the one I started with. I have a friend of mine who recommended it, and it really sent me down a path of reading all sorts of these kind of books and stories.
Interesting.
But when I talked to her about some of the other series that Sarah J. Maas, as the author, did, she was like, I just didn't like him as much. I couldn't get into him. So I've read some other series.
I've heard that some of the other series by her are actually better, but I think this is so overhyped. And I think it's because I was late onto the train, and it just, I'm like reading it and I'm like, it's a good story. And actually it's very well written, interwoven with like just a lot of different things. But I was like, I just don't think.
So did you read all of them?
So I've read 4 of the 5, and then I needed a break before I went to the 5th one because I was just like, I'm going to commit to finishing it, but I have not read the 5th one yet.
And the 5th one's quite long.
Yeah. And a lot more racy, I heard too.
Yeah. You know what I did really like, if you're liking those series, is A Fourth Wing.
That's next on the list that I've gotten.
That
my sister-in-law's given those
series, I think, is you may enjoy more.
Okay.
Have you read The Name of the Wind?
Not yet.
Add it to your list.
I have a long list.
I know, just add this one.
Okay. Add it
I promise.
to the list and bump it up.
All right.
So, all right. Okay, mine is definitely way off the beaten path, and I'm actually partially sharing it because I'm committing to doing it again this year because I have not done it since I was a very small child. And it is listening to an old-time radio show. It's called The Cinnamon Bear. Why are you laughing? Because the last one I did was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I don't remember the last one I did. I'll have to go listen back.
I don't remember for Christmas what I did, but this one is the Cinnamon Bear, and my dad asks me every year, are you going to listen to it with the kids? And I always say, oh, maybe, and then I never do. So I'm actually partially saying this so that I can commit to doing it with the kids. It is a 26-episode series designed to be listened to between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it originally played in 1937. Which is pretty amazing. I mean, that's pretty crazy, right? And it is a story about 2 people going to this enchanted world who are trying to find the missing silver star that belongs on their Christmas tree. And so Cinnamon Bear helps him, he's a stuffed bear, and helps them try to find this and meets memorable people upon their quest. So my dad is just always asking me every year, and I just have not made the time for it since I've had children, and I was thinking about it recently, and it's something to be done between now and Christmas. And my children and I have really enjoyed listening to the Harry Potter series and like just gathering every night, listening to, a couple chapters, and we really lost that since they've gotten older now. They're all between 13 and almost 17. And so we've just kind of gotten away from that. Other than listening to books on the road, like when we're traveling, we just don't really do it together anymore. So I might have some forced fun this year.
I love forced family fun.
Yeah. And then I can tell my dad that listened to it and that I exposed him to it. And
where could you find that?
That's a good question, and I will get back to you on that because I'm not sure. My dad has sent it to me. He had it. He like old radio shows is like his thing, and so he sent it to me. I think in like a zip file or something. And so if I find it, I will pass it along. But otherwise, I don't know. Where do you find old radio shows?
The library, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe even now they might be on like Apple or Spotify or Pandora too. Old radio. I don't know what.
Now,
like how many there might be, but yeah.
Well, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious.
Bear, you've never heard of it either? But you're not big into radio shows, are you? Like, have listened to old radio shows?
No.
A lot. Okay. So, like, I'm kind of excited about it.
It made me think of, like, you said do it between Thanksgiving and Christmas, like an advent calendar.
Yeah,
you
it's
do it
meant
as
to do it
almost like a
6
countdown.
days a week between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I don't know if it's going to quite add up to that. It might be 7 days a week because Thanksgiving's so late this year in the time. There's 26 episodes, so yeah, that would still work. I mean, most days.
You'd be good.
You would probably want to finish it on Christmas Eve, I would think, So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do.
I like that.
Yeah, so that will be good, and I'm going to check out say it again, Dark Academia. That'll be good.
Search it.
I'm going to search it while I listen to David Sedaris.
Perfect.
Or you can listen to it while you read David.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd have to listen to it while I read it. I couldn't listen to it.
A little bit. Well, I mean, you could.
No, you're right. I can listen to both, so I'm not that good. So, well, all right. Any final thoughts on our last episode of 2024?
No, but this will wrap it up. And yes, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Cheers. Don't imbibe too much. If you drink responsibly. If not, we have lots of options for you.
Yep.
So, great. Well, we will catch you then on the other side.
Yeah, and Botanical Trails will be back early 2025.
All right. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. Also, I want to take a quick minute to thank Darren Vandermolen for all of his help behind the scenes. Without him, this podcast probably wouldn't even exist, and his help is greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great week, and we will look forward to seeing you the next time we go down the botanical trails. This has been a Shits and Giggles production.